Another month, another budget. It's really important that you understand that when we are talking about money and finances, that we don't compare each other. This is my monthly budget. This is how my family budgets their money, and that you can use this as a template or a guide, or the way that I handle my money can be a way that inspires you to handle yours. But I do want to remind you that we are all on our own journey, doing our own finances and figuring it out ourselves. So we are going to really focus on February's budget, what kind of went wrong, where all of our money went, and just kind of how a realistic month when extra bills come in affect our budget. Now, I will be honest, we are going to go into March as well, but that's going to be really quick. I'm not really going to talk through it because I'm going to explain a lot that happened in February, and then at the end of March, we have a whole Q1 financial reset that we are going to do. So let's jump right in. Welcome back to Balance While Blooming. My name is Bridget. I'm sorry I'm a little bit under the weather. You guys are going to hear it in my voice. I do have my water with my electrolytes in it, but just bear with me as I go through this video. Here I share mindset, productivity, and so much more, from money to the way you live your life, the way every area of life kind of comes together and we can bloom and become the best person. You always need to believe in yourself. You need to build that plan. You need to balance your day-to-day life to bloom consistently to become. So we talk a little bit about all of that when it comes to money, when it comes to your mindset, to your productivity, how you show up, the person you're becoming. And I want you to know that you can be part of this journey. If money is stressful for you, there are other videos on here. But if this is something that interests you, we do this at least once a month. So let's jump right into our February budget. So as you can see, we have our income, our expenses, our sinking funds, and our spending funds. Now, I want you to keep track of what is left to budget. That's where we have if we're going to be negative or positive for the month. And it's really important that you are intentional with where your money goes. So for this month, we had very ups and downs for my husband's paychecks. He gets paid weekly. I get paid bi-weekly. I have my cheat sheet here for his paychecks and a few of the ones I don't remember. So I'm going to get those in. So that is where we sat. Now, I sit at $1,900. We do lowball. As you could see, his paychecks were very wide range. That was the end of their season. They were kind of winding down. I think our paychecks going into March are going to be even less just because of their timing, their seasons. It's okay. We just need to make sure that our budget is more realistic on that 400 end as possible. And then for me, I always do 1,700 to give us some wiggle room when life happens. Now, we did get full rent this month, which was great. And then of course, I'm just going to copy and paste these over because these did come exactly from our savings over. Now, we didn't have any extra money come in this month. Obviously, you can see that's about $1,000 more than what we were expecting, which is great. Now, that being said, let's go into our bills and expenses. When you are doing your income, make sure that you are focusing on your bills and expenses first. Try to put some money into savings and then spend as little as possible so that you don't go over on any credit cards or anything like that. Now, bills and expenses for us were a bit different than what we were expecting. So let's see where everything lies. So the first ones for us are always the same. These are our typical every single time. They are always the same. Now, I will be honest, unfortunately, we had extra bills this month. And what these were things that we forgot we had to pay, like excise taxes to our town for our car, or certain bills for our town, or taxes, or whatever may be. That was in here this month as well. So I can say, spoiler alert, it's already going to be higher, but I'm really proud of us that we stayed under budget for our groceries within reason. I knew we were going to go over a little, but we do need to refill the house. We really cut back in February, but we will have to up that again to restock the house in February. Now, with our new vehicles, we only overspent by $5. So I do think I'm going to try to stay in that $250. Now, I did end up spending $720 on health insurance. Now, you're like, okay, Bridget, you had a lot extra. We know that next month is going to be our tightest month, so we had to make some sacrifices and actually pay a little bit more to know that we could pay our bills next month. Now, let me be honest, I have to say we have a lot in savings, we have an emergency fund, we have all of those things. As much as I can cram into a month to make sure that we're always ahead is what I do, but it's also important that you understand that we are in a different financial situation than most people. We have tenants who live with us, we have nest egg, and we are never like overdrafting or anything. So when you see me overspending or overdoing, as most people may say, it may not be because we don't have the money. It's just where I allocated money this month, which kind of makes it seem more. But let me tell you, we are okay in our financial situation. We are all right with our money. We aren't living above our means. We are just really making sure that we know where everything is going. That being said, our subscriptions was actually less, which was great. And here comes the killer. We had $470 worth of bills and things that we just really had to pay. One of those was our car insurance, which technically we normally put into spending funds because we save for it, but I wasn't expecting it, so it's actually a bill that I'm putting in this month to pay the rest for our new truck. Our new truck is going to cost more. We made sure that all of our amounts, all of our premiums changed, so I knew it was going to be a couple hundred, but I was hoping that they were going to wait till later in the year because we pay in full in December, but it's okay. Get it out of the way and move on. Now, we do have a new vehicle, as I said, so that does mean that we have to pay our truck bill. It was like $701, but we're just going to call it $700, and then let's jump into what we have $18,000 for, and it will get eaten up pretty quickly. Okay, so going right into our spending funds, we actually only had $11,000 of this new car savings. So we have $500 to still play with, so that's really good. And then our future vacations came out to $14,555, which is more, which we knew that we had to pay a couple $100 this month to be exact. And then we also knew a non-negotiable was my husband's dentist work. So that was $1845. Now, as you can see, we saved $45 here, but we spent it here. So it kind of alters out when you do round numbers for your budget and then bring it into your actual. We will bring in actual money, don't worry, of exactly what they were. I'm not going to show you all of our pennies of what we make, but I will show you guys this portion in a minute. Now, I do want to be honest and say that we did get to save, but we also overspent. But let's talk about our spending first. So our spending was $745. We had a lot of money that just was stupidly spent or shopping or whatever. Obviously, it was sort of in our budget, sort of not, but we kept this at $370. Even though we overspent in his, her, and dine out, we actually saved money because of that $500 for the new car. So when you see our difference, we are positive $300. You can see we actually spent less than we thought. Now, I will say that we had to do some switching around when it came to this last $2,785. Yes, did we wish that we could have saved all of that? Of course, but reality came in and we needed to get our septic pump. So we paid $440, and what we decided to do instead was to just put $100 into our home projects and the other $400 into our spending fund. So we just didn't save it because it's a sinking fund for us. So we decided that instead of sinking it and then moving it when we had to pay for it, we just kept it in our account and moved $400 and only put one. Now, you may be asking, what did we do with our other $2,245? Well, I'm really proud to say that we saved $1,400. And then in our other category, we saved $500. This leaves us with $345. The $345 is just going to stay in our account. We just need that little buffer in there for the next few months while we're in slow season for my husband. So that's just going to stay in there. We're not going to budget. It's just going to be in there just in case we have a small bill or something that automatically comes out that we forget about. Now, this all being said, when I show you guys the actual, it says $405.66. That is also just going to be saved. You can see that our income was a bit more than what I showed you guys, and then it all fluctuates because I do to the penny. Now that you guys have seen everything that we did in February, let's just quickly run through the numbers in March, and you guys will see where we're going to allocate all of our money, and then we will see how we end off quarter one with our savings and everything like that at the end of March. Okay, so clean slate, I put in everything that we may need. The only thing I needed to add in here that I forgot is a work reimbursement. We are not going to have my husband's 5th paycheck, so we're going to just get rid of that. So we have 400 paychecks, and then as you guys saw, 1,700. I only have 2 paychecks this month. Then we have rent, and then my work reimbursement is anything that I pay for, such as any meals. We get sometimes muffins, any work mileage, anything like that. It should be over 400, but I'm just going to do that on the low end. So typically we don't have this low of an income. We usually have 7,000 plus, but because of those $400 paychecks, it is okay. We do like to budget on the low end. So when you are going into your budget, if you've never budgeted before and you just saw that and was like, how do I do it? I take this left and make sure what I know is left goes into every single category that we are going to need for that month. I always talk about going into your bills and expenses first because it is important that you know that you are paying your bills, that you are going to have the funds necessary for your bills, and that you know exactly where all of your money is going. Now, as I said, these are all fixed. We know that those are what we need to pay for our bills, our gym membership, our phone, our internet, our rent, all of those things. Now, groceries, gas, health insurance, and any subscriptions that we may have do fluctuate from month to month. Now, I did not check exactly what our subscriptions are this month, so I am putting in a higher end of 200 just because I didn't have time when I was doing budgeting, which I do recommend you guys looking at your last 3 or 6 months to figure out your numbers. I just didn't look at what it was going to be this month, so it's going to be that. We paid ahead for health insurance, so that was great. And then our groceries this month, we do need to do a restock, so we do need to put that back up to 1,000. Remember, we have a whole big household that we pay for all of the miscellaneous things. Everyone pays for their own food, but we do everything else in between, from laundry, detergent, from paper towels, toilet paper, all of those things. And then we feed a teenager, my husband, me, my mother-in-law, all of that. So it does get expensive, especially when we are trying to eat at home as much as possible, and we are very homebodies. We're at least each home for 2 meals. So that's how that works. And then for our gas, we are going to keep that at $2.50, but we will see if we have to up that towards the summer. I know we are going to have to up it, but on a very tight month, we're going to make sure that we kind of cut back on that. For our family, we average for our bills and expenses anywhere from $3,500 to around $5,000. So when you do your emergency fund, make sure that you are doing 3 to 6 months at first for your expenses. That is your bare minimum, the things that you need to pay for. That's what you do for your emergency fund. These are just some extra tidbits for you guys. Now, with our car payment, that is $470 this month. Because I only get paid twice, it comes out bi-weekly for me. Don't worry, we do pay our full payment. We have it on an auto pay system. That's how we figure it out on here. And then if we pay any extra, that will be a different line item to go towards principal. Now, it's important that we are always saving. I think it's important that you understand when you have this money left that you know what you're going to save and sink and what you are going to spend. Now, again, we have one more dentist appointment. It's going to be $550, so that does kind of take our savings away. Our big yearly savings is about $2,000 a month. We obviously can't allocate all of this. That means we would get no fun, nothing, but we have been saving more over the last few months, so that means that we are kind of ahead. But we are still going to do $900 for our home because that is what is really important to us. The down payment towards our home, the home that we are living in, we are going to buy it from my mom. And it's really important that we stay on track with that. And we have to save at least $750, but we do have auto pays every single month. And our auto pays as right now, if we don't save anything extra, is $900. So I'm going to budget that in because it's automatically going to go into our savings anyways for that account that we have for our home. So that's why it's a rounded number this month. Now, I am going to give ourselves $550. I do know that we have a few things coming up, such as brakes, oil changes, all of those things. So that means we're going to put $370 just to get that $70 away from that left to budget, because I don't like saving weird random numbers. I like rounded numbers into my account. Now, that leaves us with $400. We do have some other and miscellaneous that we are saving for. We've been saving for home projects so much, and usually $100 from each of my husband's paychecks go into this other category, and then I push it into home projects. It's one account, and then I have buckets in there. So I'm just gonna let the $100 from each of those. So as you can see, in March, we are really just taking a step back, letting the things that we already are expecting to come out automatically to come out for our savings, and we are giving ourselves a buffer to still spend and save. Now, it is our 2-year anniversary next week from when you guys are seeing this on the 5th, and I don't know if we are going to go out to dinner or do anything, so I wanted to make sure that we could still live our life, and that's a big part of Balance While Blooming. That's a big part of who I am. That's a big part of the message I'm trying to do, the people that I'm becoming, the person I'm becoming, the relationship I want to have is so intentional to the person, that the way I have my mindset, how I handle my money, how I handle my time, how I handle my productivity, all of those things come about from putting all of my areas of life together, and I'm making sure that I can balance each area of life to have that relationship with my husband, have the relationship with my stepson, have the relationship with my mom, with my friends, with the people that matter to me, by knowing what I can spend, the time that I have, and the way I'm going to handle my money and my finances and my life is just another aspect of that. So it's really important that when you are talking about money, that it's not something to be scared of, and that we are not comparing each other. And as I said, March is a tight month for us. We know that we may have more money coming in. Money does come to us abundantly. I'm so proud of the things that we're doing, the side projects that we pick up, and how we are leaning into our passions and making extra money and really going full force into our careers as well. And all that being said, that mindset and the way that you are attracting money does matter, but I do think it's important that you know how you can balance, how you can take control of your life, and that life is happening for you. It's not happening to you. Really understand where you're at in life, and that starts with your money, it starts with your mindset, it starts with the person you want to become, and believe that you have the money that you need, or you can make the money that you need. Build a plan for the money that you have. Balance your time, know when you can spend, when you can save, when you need to just pay a bill like we did last month, and then really understand how you can bloom your money, how you can invest, how you can take time for yourself, and that you become this person who is the wealthiest person, whatever that means to you, successful person to you is. For me, I don't need to be a millionaire to be happy. I am really happy with the money I'm making. Of course, I want more money, but I'm really proud of the person I'm becoming, how I'm handling my money, how I am being the person of my dreams, getting to travel, getting to live my life, getting to spend time with my husband, go on dates, do the things that matter to us, and I feel rich inside. So remember that you need to believe in yourself, you need to build your dream life, and that you can balance it all to bloom daily and become that person of your dreams and join our community, because I do so much more than money. I just wanted to put that pep talk in here because I know for me, February was a hard month with money. I know that I still have money in my account. I know that I'm doing well. I know that I saved, but I know how it can feel when those extra bills come up, when the things get tough, and make sure that you have someone to lean on, those support systems. And I can be that support for you when you just need to talk about something. So let me know what other videos you guys want to see, if it is around money, mindset, productivity, becoming your best self, what it is, and I will see you guys soon.